everybody, welcome back to Additional Ink. I'm so happy you guys are here to come check out this Amethyst Steel deck profile. I've got my friend Enchanted Kim with me today. We're going to talk to her in just a minute. She's been playing this deck, she's been having some success with it, and it's a lot of fun to play. I hope you guys enjoy it. Remember, here at Additional Ink, we believe there's plenty of space at the table for everybody and plenty of ink to go around. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and like and subscribe and make sure you come back with us every time we do this. And I'm going to throw it to me and Kim. As a reminder, in the description, there is a link. If you're using the official Disney Lorcana app, it will load this deck list directly into your app. All right, everybody, I am here with Enchanted Kim. Enchanted Kim, I always get to hang out with my friend on Ice Cream Social, and Kim is showing us her deck today. She's in her Amethyst era, you know, according to the deck name. So, Kim, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you came to be playing this deck?
Hi, I'm Enchanted Kim. You can find me primarily on Instagram, X, Bluesky, Discord, all those places. And so, if you know, I was super obsessed with playing Amber Steel Song for the longest time. I think since set 2, going into set 3. You know, very much the princess girly pop song is what I would call it. Enchanted princesses, all the things. And, you know, as we know, rotation happened, and I was like, what do I play? They, you know, basically rotated out all of the really iconic Amber Steel songs. You know, all of those songs, a lot of the singers, and so I'm like, what do I do? Especially, you know, going into this new format, it's just like a very, I feel like it's very, very reminiscent of Limited. And I feel like when it comes to Limited, I always lean towards anything that can draw me cards and anything that can remove other cards. And that, I just feel like, really categorizes into Amethyst and Steel. Yeah. I also felt good because I don't have a ton of time, unfortunately, this set to be playtesting. And I do have experience playing Amethyst Steel in set 7. I did play Amethyst Steel because I was getting a little burnt out on Amber Steel Song, but I was like, I want something different. And so looking at this deck list, it's not too different from what I was playing in set 7. There's a couple new cards here, but a good chunk of it is pretty similar, like the Diablos, the Calhouns, Docs, Cobra, Captain Hook, Genie. So I was like, okay, you know, let's just think about it as a limited format type of deck. Okay. Especially with the lack of board wipes and so many songs, I'm like, it really does feel like limited, you know?
Right. So what I'm hearing is, well, one, I know that you've been entering your competitive era for a while now, and you've been absolutely banishing it. But what I'm hearing, so the deck kind of felt like a little bit like home. It was very familiar. Yeah. Rotation, I think, hit a lot of us in the same way. We're like, what do I do now? You know.
No, my fave deck is no longer the same anymore. It's just, you know, bones.
Yeah. But you've had some success with this so far. You actually destroyed me on Ice Cream Social one night with this deck. I'll admit that. It was a fun match. So let's talk a little bit about how do you feel like this deck performs into the different matchups?
I feel like this deck is pretty strong. I would say this is a very all-around deck, which are the type of decks I really like to play in general. I am not a huge fan of decks that are very much like, oh, they're really good counter to the super popular deck, or they are the super popular deck, but they have, you know, like their super weak points. For instance, you know, Aggro is really good against the very control style Blurple. Like, I just don't like that. So I feel like this deck is, I guess you consider it mid-range, and so it goes pretty well into all matchups, I would argue. I feel like there is no matchup where I'm like, if I see this deck, like, it's over. No, it's a very strong deck overall. It definitely has some decks that I feel like it's a little weaker. Like, I feel like Blurple, if this deck is not fast enough, which it has the potential to not be fast enough because there's not that many early double questers, that it can fall to the wayside if Blurple has enough time to gain control. Same thing too with what's called Sea Dogs, the Amber Emerald deck. I feel like if that deck, zooms way too fast, like Triple Daisy, same thing with Amber Steel. Like if they just go so aggressive that I have no time to catch up, then that's that. But otherwise, it has a good time where, if things go pretty normal, this deck has a chance to win. A very good chance, honestly.
We've seen a lot of players have success with Amethyst Steel at major events, whether it's DLC Bologna or some of the CCQs. Thiago's had an amazing run this season so far, as well as several others. And I will say that looking at Amethyst Steel and having played against it a bunch, the deck, I think, is probably the most fair deck that we have, where it's, like you said, you kind of try to avoid those polarizing matchups. So that this deck is very fair. It's got a pretty even spread, 50%ish into the field. And if you play it right, even more than that. But at a base, I'd say it's tough to say. It's easy to say that it's got a 50% spread.
For sure. And honestly, you mentioned him too. This deck is basically Thiago's list, but minus, a few cards here. They're just kind of doing what I feel like fits best for me. For instance, like he was very against Skater Mim versus I've always been like, nah, Skater Mim is really good. And he recently did add Skater Mim to his deck as well, but he only had her as a 1-up versus I'm like, 2 is good. I might even argue putting in a 3rd, but I was just like, I need at least more than 1 because that, especially into those aggro matchups, is extremely strong.
Yeah, the Madam M Tiny adversary, the Skater Mim, definitely terrorized me this past weekend at Set Champs.
Yeah, or even too, she's really good against Amber Steel when they have Tiana on the board because she combined with the Jafar Aspiring Ruler, where you can also add Challenger +2. It almost negates having to use the ink or having to pay the ink in order to have Challenger +3 again when Tiana's exerted.
Yeah.
It's like if you have her out and then you play that Jafar, it's like cool, your Glimmer is potentially back up to that 4, the 3 strength, or even potentially if it's a stronger character like Raja, it's like they can have an extra boost and take out Tiana without having to pay that cost.
Very Sapphire Steel coded there because we a lot of times we're trying to swing over the tax of Tiana's ability. And that's a great way to handle it. And unfortunately, we are in a meta where, like you said, with Aggro, Amber Seal, and Blurple, where every deck can kind of high roll. Most decks, if they get their high roll, they get their idea draw, sometimes we're just not going to win those matchups. But playing something like this, where you've got a spread out, even matchup and everything, I think gives you a really good chance for success.
It really does, truly.
All right, so now we've talked about the matchups a little bit. Talk to me about some of your ideal play lines that you want to see. Like, what am I looking for in my mulligan? What am I turn 1, turn 2? What are some cool combos I can pull off with the deck?
For sure. So one of my favorite combos that I feel a good chunk of people just don't realize is Diablo, the 1-cost Diablo on its own is a very strong card. When this card gets banished, you draw a card. But sometimes, I feel anyways for a while, it's just Diablo doesn't really hit doesn't really hit back for anything. And in this meta, because, like I said, it's very reminiscent of a limited format, you want to have as wide as the board as possible, especially because realistically our only board wipe is Under the Sea. And so what I like to do sometimes, because sometimes people are like, oh, well, why aren't you questing with Diablo? That's free lore. What are they going to do? Give you the free card when it's banished? And I'm like, well, sometimes it's fun if I can set Diablo up where, whether he quests and my opponent just doesn't want to challenge Diablo, and they're like, what, I'll give you the lore because I don't want to give you the card. Or sometimes I play Diablo a little later. It's really cool when I can combo Diablo with Madam Mim or even with the Jafar Spiraling Ruler.
That's pretty good.
To give Diablo that boost, and then they can take out my opponent's character, and I get to draw the card.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The Diablo, if your opponent does ignore it, then you gain 2-3 lore off of it usually before it's dealt with, which is then just a bonus in itself, right?
Exactly. So especially if I'm on the play, Diablo's a really good opener for the first character I want to draw. Captain Hook as well. Ideally, I think I would always want to see Hook. especially against those more aggro matchups, like Sea Dogs or Amber Steel. Because of his Challenger +2, like that's extremely strong, and 2 willpower is nothing to sneeze at, especially against those Amber decks that have the low willpower. It's just like, well, he'll most likely survive. Paliscard, kind of the same vein of he's not a bad 1-drop, because if you can combo him with Madam Mim and that Challenger +1 in that second turn, it's, he's now a 2/4 1-drop, and that's extremely strong in these matchups. And once again, you add in the Jafar, where it's like, if Paliscard, goes on, where it's like you're at turn 3, play the Jafar, it's like he's now a 3/4, and that can take out a lot of things. Like, that can take out your opponent's 2-drop character at that point, or even a 3-drop, depending on what they play.
That's pretty good. Talk about the opening hand. You've got you got Calhoun in the list, you've got Raja, you've got Doc, Skater Mim as your 2-drops. Obviously, we want to see Doc a little bit later, right?
Right. You never want to keep Doc in your opening hand. If you see Doc, the likelihood that if you keep a Doc and then you alter, the likelihood that you'll draw into a second one is very high, I feel like. So in general, I'm always like, no, do not keep any Docs in my opening hand. If I am getting ready to do my altar and he's in there, it's like, no, you go back. Like, I want to see you later.
And I will say this, if you find yourself in a position where you have multiple Docs, this goes for any deck running Doc, don't be afraid just to play that one Doc down without using the effect, because it boosts your strength of Raging Fire, right?
It does.
And then it just
100%.
adds another quester.
For sure. Cajon is also extremely strong. Once again, pairing with anything that gives the Challenger boost. Super, super strong. And her having resist is extremely good into those aggro matchups. As well, she's a 3/2. 3/2 along with Raja being a 3/3. Very early on, you're putting in this threatening position of, if you're going to under the sea me, I have these low cost characters that I could potentially flood the board with that have this high strength, that it's like, you can't, it's going to be really hard to remove them off from the board with Under the Sea.
Yeah, I've loved Calhoun since she came out. I started playing her in Sapphire Seal the moment she came out in set 5, and I've loved her ever since. So I don't like staring down Calhouns or a board full of them, but I do enjoy playing the card.
Top of, that extra lore that you get is so good, whether you quest with her, become this threatening position of like, okay, well, I quested with her, take her out. I still got the 1 lore from questing, or they quest, so you're like, okay, well, let me challenge and get the 2 lore from that, even better.
I've actually lost a match from an opponent that had a Calhoun down. I was questing with characters that Calhoun normally couldn't banish on her own. They top decked to fire the cannons, put 2 damage on my Pleakley, and then took it out with Calhoun to go from 18 to 20 lore. I was 1 turn away from winning. It felt so bad, but that's a super good combo.
It is, yeah. I mean, if you get the fire the cannons, like, that's extremely strong too in this meta. 2 damage is so important, especially imagine you put 2 damage onto those Tianas that are exerted. That makes it a little easier, where if you aren't able to pay, or you're not choosing to pay the ink tax is what I call it. If you play those challenge boosters, then you only realistically need 1 strength to take them out.
Yeah.
Or if you have something like Giant Cobra, where you just have like a Madam Mim on board, play Giant Cobra, then they're able to challenge Giant Cobra. It's like, even though he's only 2 Challenger at that point, it's like, okay, cool. Like, that cannons is already added the 2 damage that that can now take out Tiana easily.
Yeah. Speaking of strength, so what is your play pattern to be prepared? Do you normally play your 1-drops and your 2-drops and then a 3-drop, and then get a 4th character down on turn 4, and then strength your opponent's threat or whatever they have? Or are you more like, I'm questing away and I'll just use the strength when I have it?
I definitely try to play more control, or I tend to have like a more control play style. I definitely play a 1 cost, play a 2 cost, play a 3 cost, have my 3 costs, or even better, especially if I'm on the draw, play my 4 cost, have my 3 costs, then sing strength to take care of my opponent's threats.
I think that's one of the best things that you can do, is play out that board, because I mean, at that point 4 damage, you can take out a Tiana, you can take out a Daisy, you can take out an opposing Genie, you can take out all kinds of different things.
Right, just a variety of threats. So you're just like, it's wonderful to be able to do that. Yeah, and I think still, and this is part of like why I really like this deck is I joke that to me this is a deck that feels reminiscent of Amber Steel Song. Sure, realistically, I only have one song in here,
Right.
but that's good enough for me.
Well, so we've got some instant lore gain. We got Calhoun. We got Well, we can kind of cheat some lore with Calhoun. But we got Cobra, we got White Rose. Are you playing those as you see them, or are you more holding those in your hand for like that? I'm at 18, 17. You think you've got a chance, but I'm just going to do this and it's over.
So it's pretty situational. So my ideal turn 3 is going to be Genie, the Satisfied Dragon, because he also has that evasive on my turn ability, and he's a 3/4. That 4 willpower is just extremely important. Because 4 willpower, as we like briefly mentioned, that's kind of hard to take out in this meta. There's not a lot of characters that can single-handedly like hit for a lot. So Genie, especially by turn 3, he'll most likely survive, or it's gonna probably take 2 characters from my opponents to be able to take him out. So ideally him. White Rose and Giant Cobra are very conditional. For me, I would play White Rose. I think White Rose would be my least, like, this is what I would play if I just didn't have another 3-drop. Or technically, no. Jafar, Aspiring Ruler would be like, if I had no other 3-drop, this is what I would play. Because that's a very, like, later game type of mechanic.
Right.
This ability is just so good for the later game.
It's just, you want to catch your opponent off guard with it.
For sure. White Rose is fine. She would be like then my next, like, if I didn't have anything else, she would be, I guess, like 4th on this pick. Because 3/3 is fine, and gaining that lore, I think I would prioritize playing her if I was playing against Borkle and I wanted to be like as aggressive with lore as possible very early on. But Giant Cobra, it's pretty rare that I use that gain 2 lore ability unless it's like a finishing kind of reminiscent of how GOAT was for people, where it's like you save GOAT to the very end where you're like, I got 18, play, or I've got 19, play GOAT and win. But Giant Cobra, though, I would also prioritize playing when I'm playing against those aggro decks. Once again, that 4/4 body is extremely strong, especially against Amber Steel, or Amber Emerald. And on top of 2, it's another thing that's really hard to remove with something like Sapphire Emerald if they try to like Sapphire Coil you and play Under the Sea.
Yeah, I can see that. And I definitely, I'm sitting here looking at the list, and I'm, looking at Genie, and I'm looking at Madam Mim, and your Genie can take out an opposing Genie with Madam Mim down on board as well. So you can easily curve into that. So that's really cool. I kind of want to talk about the Genies now. So we're going to talk about Genies and card draw and your evasives. So we've got Dumbo, Ninth Wonder of the Universe, which we know he has the ability to pay 1, draw a card, gain 1 lore. And then he also gives that to all of your evasives. One of the cool things about the Genie Satisfied Dragon is him having evasive on your turn means you can also use that ability on him during your turn. Tell me a little bit about, like, are we playing Dumbo on 4? Are we playing Genie on 4? Are we playing Genie on 4 and then Dumbo on 5 and then drawing a card with Dumbo's ability? How are we maximizing our card draw and our evasives?
So it's interesting that I rarely ever play Dumbo on 4 if I can help it. My ideal play will be Genie on 3, the Satisfied Dragon. And then if, the stars align and everything's great, I'll have Genie Wish Fulfilled on 4 to play, which is like awesome. I get a card draw from it. Amazing. And then, I can potentially have that extra card to ink on turn 5 and play Dumbo, and then really give myself assurance to then have that extra ink to then exert either the Genie Satisfied Dragon or the Genie Wish Fulfilled, depending on the situation, and get that extra card draw. Because I feel like Dumbo is such a huge threat. I mean, you see Dumbo and you're like, I gotta get that elephant out of here. He is not going to be performing his little evasive card trick.
I'm sending Vincenzo the Elephant Hunter after him every time.
Exactly. And so I rarely ever want to play Dumbo on 4 and have him have that whole turn to dry, because if you're playing him on curve, you're not going to be able to do, Dumbo for one is not dry to be able to do his ability on himself.
Mhm.
And you don't have that extra ink, like I said, to be able to do where if I had Genie on play, like I can't. I just don't have enough extra ink to be able to do that for him that turn. And so because he's such a target, it's like most people are like, well, I want to stop you. Like, I don't even want to give you the chance to do that fun little draw trick.
Right.
And so they remove him. And then, it's almost to me like a wasted turn. I mean, granted, in the end, it's never a wasted turn, because if my opponent, used the whole turn to focus on removing this Dumbo instead of other stuff, then like, fine. That's still being threatening.
I do agree with that sentiment, but my opponent wastes a turn removing one card. I typically am like, okay, cool, that removal's now gone, and then I can do whatever I need to do.
I know. Even better if you had like a second Dumbo in hand and then you're able to ink for
Oh.
like, haha.
Gross.
You fell into my trap. I've done that a few times. But going all of that to say is playing Dumbo on turn 5 is just so beneficial, because it's like, okay, I play this Dumbo, and regardless if Dumbo himself isn't doing the exerting and pay 1 additional ink to do the trick, I can use, either Genie to do that and guarantee myself at least 1 card draw, which, as we know with this format, card draw is so essential.
Yeah.
In terms of like being successful in winning your games.
I'm just sitting here thinking of the greedy play. I guess if you weren't in an aggro matchup where you go Genie on 3, Genie Wish Fulfilled on 4, Elsa 5, Dumbo on 6, let's draw all the cards.
Oh yeah, I definitely have done that before, because that's just like, it's not even necessarily greedy per se, but it's just like, that's just the most beneficial. If you can get that much card draw, and you're also just elevating yourself, where if your opponent doesn't have that many evasive answers, it's like, why not set yourself up to draw that many cards?
Yeah, and I only call it greedy because when I sit across from it and it happens, I'm like, oh man, this is a pain.
You're like, you should calm down. It's like,
What?
well, get rich in your card draws.
Ooh. All right, and so talk to me a little bit about this Yzma. So you have all this card draw with the evasives and Dumbo, but we've got Yzma sitting in here.
Yeah, so Yzma is kind of like a newer to me card to have in this deck. I only recently started to play her in the last week or so. She's also in that same vein of Dumbo, of just like, you see Yzma and you're like, I want to get rid of that Yzma. Like, that sounds threatening. Yzma's also great in very similar vibes to Doc. If you want to play Doc, you do not want to have any cards in your hand when you play Doc to get, the full card advantage. So that's how it is with Yzma, where it's fun to be able to empty your hand. And, if she survives the turn because you and your opponent are both top decade, then great. Then you get to draw 3 cards, essentially, and it's awesome. I only have 2 of her, though, because she is extremely situational. Unlike Doc, she's not an on-play ability. Like, she does have to survive and, like, fully dry. And then you have to exert to be able to do that ability. And sometimes, too, like, with this deck, like we, just said, Dumbo can draw you a lot of cards. Genie can draw you can draw you at least 1. If you're super fortunate and you just draw into all your Genies, that when you play, you draw a card. Like, you just have a bunch of cards in your hands that Yzma just might not be beneficial. Or, like, if you have at least 1 Dumbo that seems to be safe on board, or you just know that you have a second Dumbo in hand, like, coming soon, Yzma then just, the likelihood that you'll have that empty hand isn't that high. So it's nice that she's inkable at the very least. So that if you're in those situations, it's like, well, she can just go to the inkwell and be useful there.
I'm a super big fan of the playstyle of, okay, I'm going to run multiple things that are kind of similar threats, so that my opponent, if they take 1 out, I have an alternate game plan, or I can play them both out and now they have to kind of pick their poison, what they want to do.
For sure. And Yzma's so good in the mirror, because there are points where, because I feel like Yzma's just not in everyone's Amethyst Steel list, and so she's very good in those mirror matches where, every Amethyst Steel player is probably playing both Genies, the Dumbos, the Elsas. But Yzma can be one of those where it's like, if your opponent doesn't have it in the mirror and you do, that can really, really change the game. And like potentially widen your board, widen the ink that you have available, and just overall give you that card advantage. And like we mentioned, that 3/3 isn't something to sneeze at.
And 2 lore.
Or 2 lore is pretty big too.
So I think we've talked about every card except for Belle and Elsa.
Yeah, let's touch on that.
I'm sure many players are familiar with sitting across from them, but let's talk about how to use them effectively, I guess.
Sure. So Belle's one that even now, every so often I'm like, should I still have Belle in this deck? But then I have these fun situations that don't happen too often, but Belle can just be so essential, because I think Belle has almost become one of those cards that you have to think about constantly. Like, anyone who plays Amethyst, you're like, they probably have Belle in hand. And it's very similar, I feel like, to how people felt where, if you're playing against someone who's playing Amber, don't let them have a character who has damage left on them, because they're just going to play Rapunzel. And so because of that, like, fear, I feel like people are just like, I am never going to leave my opponent to be able to have, like, damage on their characters. Or, if they challenge, like, their character is going to, get banished. Like, it would be like an equal trade. And so Belle is really fun when they forget about it, or just like it's just advantageous to you. You can do that, play Belle, and cool, your characters are essentially healed. Or what's even better that I only recently thought about, I don't know, maybe I'll say this if people are like, wow, Kim, no, that was really obvious, you're a little slow. Or some people are like mind blown, so we'll see. But I didn't realize that you could move damage from your opposing character to a different opposing character.
Yeah, that is
crazy.
That is, I mean, but that's the thing. If the line doesn't present itself to you, or the situation, sometimes you don't realize those things.
Yeah, like it was one of those, I saw someone else do it, and like my mind was blown, and I was like, whoa, I didn't realize I could do that. And it just opened up things, because there are definitely a few times where I've surprised opponents with that, where they have characters with damage on them. Because now it creates this new level of fear of like, I can't just leave with damage on their characters. Like, now I'm scared of having, damage on my own characters.
First, I'll say that's one of the reasons why I like to watch a lot of Lorcana gameplay content, whether it's tournaments or whatever the case is, because you can always see these things that may have not, you haven't found yourself in that situation. For
sure. I feel like I had the same mind blown moment when I saw Zach Bibbins for the first time watching a DLC matchup, and this is back, when Amber Steel Sog was extremely playable then. And I was so confused watching him play Let the Storm Rage on one of his own characters. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you hurting one of your own? And then I'm like, because then he played Rapunzel, and I was like, well, that's wild, because one, you got the card draw from Storm, and now you get even more card draw from Rapunzel. Crazy. So that's how I feel with Belle sometimes. Is like doing little tricks like that, where it's like you wouldn't really, it's almost like an unconventional way of using it, in my opinion.
So yeah, sometimes those moments, like, it's really fun when you discover them, whether you see somebody do them or you discover it on your own. And that's one of the reasons why this game is so fun, because there's so many different, like, I'm a big fan when you have like those non-linear play patterns, and you can kind of like, you feel like your brain's expanding when you see them. You're like, oh, wow, light bulb.
Exactly. And I mean, it falls in that same situation of, people get, I'm sure everyone, if you play against Amethyst, you're prepared for that Elsa. And it's kind of funny too. I've had those like gotcha moments where they're like, oh, well, your Elsa can't clear this character. And I'm like, they can, because I had Mim on board. It's a lot of fun moments with this deck. Honestly, now that I've been hyping them out, I'm like, now I feel like maybe I should add a third or fourth one in this deck, because she's very important. I talked about her more and more in this video.
I don't think we need to talk about Elsa too much. I think everybody's either pretty familiar with playing Elsa at this point, or familiar with being on the receiving side of Elsa.
Benefit with Dumbo, Elsa could exert a character, that's cool. All these things, Elsa just being a 2/5, awesome stats. Yeah, all the good things.
But you mentioned you possibly want to change card count. So my next thing that we were talking about, what are some tech cards that you might consider, either if you're teching towards your local meta, or you might want to change some counts like the Skater Mem, or even if it's, those Dumbinos are still kind of expensive, so maybe a player doesn't have 4 of them. So what are some tech cards we might want to think about including in this deck if we wanted to change some stuff?
For sure, a tech card for 1 would be Happy.
He's a 2/1, faces on your turn, 1 cost inkable.
So that's another something to add into dealing with all the evasives. Very similar vibes to Genie, and he is a 1 cost, which is nice. And if you pair that with something like Skater Mim, that could take out an opposing.
Oh, yeah. And it also synergizes with Well, if you have a Dumbo, it synergizes with that as well.
Right. Which is nice because especially too, like if you have Dumbos and you're playing that line, having Happy be just a 1 cost is so nice, because sometimes you have Genie, like if you only have Genies and Elsas, not Genie, even still, Genie Satisfied Dragon is a 3 cost. But, 4 cost Genie, 5 cost Elsa, it's a little harder to get those evasives out early. Or if you're just trying to flood your board with evasives, then Happy is a really good option for that.
Yeah. So after Happy, what do you got?
What is the name of the card? It's an Amethyst action that gives you Challenger +2.
Hypnotic Strength, and it is the bane of my existence right now.
So I gotta add it in there. Got it. But that card is so good. 1 card draw. I believe it's only a 2 cost, so that's a fairly cheap thing. I'm a little bummed it's not a song, but it's what it is. I still gotta struggle not living in my Amber Steel song meta. But yeah, a card draw is so good. It's a cheaper action, so you only need 2 ink. And like we've mentioned many times, the Challenger can be so useful, especially against those Tianas.
Well, like if you have Hook down and Skater Mim, and then they use their Tiana, you play the Hypnotic Strength. Now Hook is Challenger 5.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So, and you've drawn a card. So that's incredible.
For sure. Or, if you're trying to get that lore advantage and you have a Calhoun, you play Hypnotic Strength, make Calhoun a 5/2, which can clear out more things. That can get you that 2 lore that you need, that extra 1 lore over questing that you could get to just edge you out being closer to winning.
Okay. I also think there may be an argument for Rafiki Sin over Diablos with that same kind of challenger mindset, right? Because you could Rafiki on turn 1 and then Hypnotic Strength on turn 2, and you're Rafiki swinging for 5.
So crazy. I also still like the idea though, just buffing up the Diablo as well.
Yeah.
Diablo's now a 2 strength, and once again being able to, he could potentially banish a character while also drawing an additional card. So you could potentially be drawing 2 cards in that same play because of Hypnotic Strength, and then Diablo getting banished and drawing a card that way.
Yes. If I start seeing enough Hypnotic Strengths, I gotta start running Pete again. I'll say that.
Oh gosh, people also Pete also wouldn't be a bad idea to add on this list too. I've been seeing more Amber Steel players adding that to their list as well, because there's just more and more actions being added into the meta. Like I've mentioned before, we have Under the Sea. We're seeing, if you're playing against Blurple, possibly playing Pete to slow down them playing Into the Unknown could be really beneficiary. Or, if you play Pete and it slows them down from playing Second Star, crazy.
Yeah. You can stop the Into the Unknown, you can stop Under the Sea, you can stop Handheld High, you can stop Fire the Cannons, Strengths, all that stuff. So I do think we're in a meta where Pete is slowly becoming more relevant.
Yeah, Pete's gonna come back and start telling us that we can't have our little dance parties anymore. He's like, no actions, no songs.
Blowing his whistle.
Yep. And then my final tech card would be the card called Treasure Guardian. He is a 4-cost, 3/3, 2-quester, and he has the ability of when you play this character, if you have an illusion character in play, you may draw a card. Which, if you look at the ratios, I do have a decent chunk of illusions in this deck. I have Palace Guard, I have Raja, Giant Cobra. So that is a good chunk of my deck being illusions,
Mm-hmm.
which, this is another way too that if you don't have Dumbos, this is another thing to go around with, where you could potentially change around the ratios and add more illusion cards to the deck, and get more card advantage.
Okay.
It's also a...
He also quests for 2.
Yeah, he also costs for 2.
So that's relevant as well.
The 3/3 isn't the strongest as a 4 cost, but it's still nothing to sneeze at because it's out of range for Under the Sea.
I think these are all great options. There seems to be a lot of flexibility in the way you can build it and tech it out for your local meta, for your set champs, or you're going to try your hand at the DLC. Kim, I really appreciate you coming on the channel and discussing the deck and your experience with it and everything. Do you have any closing thoughts on the deck?
Closing thoughts. I could see this deck still being very strong going into future metas. I felt like Amethyst Steel has just always been a very fair deck. Even back in set 7, I thought it was a fair deck. And it's also a deck too, besides Dumbos and Genies, we don't look at those, but everything else I would feel like is a very budget friendly for the most part. Like, they're cards that are very common, uncommon, but like still very strong. But I feel like it's one of those decks that if you are on a budget, starting to get into Lorcana, it's very new player friendly. I would also say too, this deck also is very reminiscent of, if you're someone newer to playing TCGs, which I feel like this is why I like this deck so much, it's pretty basic to understand. Like, it's things that are draw cards and challenger, nothing too crazy. You have one SOG and a few actions. Versus I feel like some of the other decks get really intimidating, like Blurple. It's like you have ramp and all of that and sing together.
What you're saying is you feel like the deck is very approachable. It's got a very low floor to entry, but I think the deck also has a very high skill ceiling level.
Exactly. You worded that way nicer than I could have.
Well, that's what friends are for, Kim.
Right. You take my complicated thoughts and you're like, let me make this easier for the audience to understand.
You know who taught me how to do that?
Who?
Cogsworth.
Walked right into that one. I was like, I bet it's gonna be something like Cogsworth. I knew. Cogsworth, when his wisdom came to you and he's like, here's how you eloquently speak.
He's the grandfather clock, right?
I know, he has all this knowledge to pass down.
Kim, I really appreciate you coming on Additional Link. I probably should have had you on sooner, but we've been vibing and hanging out on Ice Cream Social. So if you want to see the more of us there together bantering, you can find us every other Thursday on Ice Cream Social on Twitch. And so where can people find you? And do you have any shout outs?
People can find me on primarily Instagram, Bluesky, and X, all under Enchanted_Kim. And shout outs. I want to say shout outs is like everyone on Ice Cream Social, all the girly pops, the people that are just cheering me on to get competitive, because it's still a very scary thing. Playing competitive is a new venture to me. It's kind of scary, so I just appreciate everyone who's, just like you, who's like play tested with me and has encouraged me to be like, you can do it. And I'm like, awesome. And also big shout out to Diego and Zach Bivens for really accumulating this list and giving me a base ground for how I want to make this work for me.
I'm so glad you came on today. I think it's super important to support the community and show different voices. So when you said now I was entering my competitive era, we've been like, let's go, let's play test, let's do it. And I wanted to bring you on. If we've got some players who are entering their competitive era, just like you have been, and maybe they're going to enter their Amethyst era now, I wanted to show them that it's not all pro level all the time, right? I think it's good to hear voices from all levels.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so now we're going to get off of Kim and we're going to transition over to the gameplay table. And actually, I'm not going to pilot the deck today. I'm going to have Matt is going to pilot Amethyst Steel against me, and I'm going to try to beat him. We'll see how it goes. So
hold on, is Matt going to wear glitter? Because that's the only way you can play the stack, is to wear some sparkly glitter.
I will see what he says. No promises there. But once again, thank you, Kim, for coming to hang out with us. And if you guys want to hear us banter, Ice Cream Social, check us out. But we're going to get to that gameplay, and I'll see you at the gameplay table in a nanosecond.
All right, guys, we are here to showcase some gameplay of Amethyst Steel. Kim, we are checking out my Amethyst error deck. So we piloted by Matt.
Hello.
However, I know that you said he needed some purple eyeshadow and a bunch of glitter. I checked, and here at Additional Link, we don't have those things. And so
Not yet.
So I'm sorry. And I hope you're dying laughing. So we're gonna a couple quick shuffles. I said couple, Matt's gonna do 5.
I'm gonna do 2. That was 2.
That was so hard for you to actually stop at 2.
It was.
All right. 5. Oh, you got it.
7. Think.
All right, so that means I'll be on the play.
Thank you.
Low rolled.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. You got it.
Oh, it was low roll?
No, it was high roll. You
Oh,
got
okay.
it. You got it.
You know what? If that means the deck also low rolls, I'm okay with it. All
At
right.
least we're not out here rolling 12s.
I will take the play, just to be clear to everybody watching. Oh, okay. This is kind of spicy. Maybe those 2 back. And maybe this one. Yeah. This is kind of nice. I'll take those.
I'm gonna do 3.
I'm gonna do, yeah. Oh, I'm doing 3 as well. Sorry.
Copycat.
Well, technically, I was supposed to do it first, but
Well, you were too slow.
I was too slow. Womp womp.
Maybe his hat's a little tight.
Oh, is that what it is?
Maybe.
You want me to like let the emo hair out right now?
No, bro, that's up to you.
I mean, it's kind of like here you go. It's like very long right now.
I feel intimidated.
I've been like bunning it up there. I don't have glitter, but I have emo hair for you, Kim.
There we go.
There you go. Does this look okay? Like, we don't really have like wardrobes, so.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
professional opinion as Enchanted Kim's friend, your hair looks good.
Cool.
Cut my deck. Let's go.
All right, you cut mine, right? Yeah, we're good. All right. So, I'm going to kick it off.
Mhm.
I am going to ink this bow and play a Captain Hook.
Okay.
Pass.
Draw. We're gonna need a rhino. I play a daisy,
Sure.
and I'll pass.
Draw.
Mhm.
Gonna ink Diablo.
Mhm.
Gonna pay 2 for a Madam Mim,
Ooh, I don't like that.
and I'll quest for 1.
All right.
Yeah, Madam Mim and Hook are really nice for Daisy. I'll pass you.
All right, we are going to ink another rhino.
Mhm.
We'll play a pinning, giving Daisy Tuck resist 1.
That's pretty slick.
And then we'll quest for 2. Do you have a daisy trigger?
I do have a Daisy trigger. All right, that goes to the bottom.
Yes.
Okay, on me?
Yes.
All right, we're ready and draw. I'm gonna ink this Palace card. Let's see here. Resist math. All right. So now I need the Mim and the Hook cannot clear it because the Mim only gives other characters Challenger 1.
Yeah, she has Challenger 1 as well, but she does have.
Oh, that's right.
resist
She has it as well. Yeah, but the 1 is not going to be enough.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I think the thing I have to do is pay 1 to fire the cannon's penny to at least keep you
Ooh.
off of some lore.
And we revealed that card, man.
We did. I love.
How dare you?
You know, if anyone's going to send her to the discard, one of us.
How dare you?
I'm going to use this other 1 ink I just tapped.
Eat 2 Brute.
to play this Captain Hook. And then I will just put as much damage as I can on. So I'm going to put 3 damage on the Daisy with the Hook, and I will quest for 1 with the Mims.
Just wait till I play my bell and move that damage.
If you have a bell, we have to talk about how legal your deck is, sir.
No, I'm kidding.
Passing to you.
All right, we are going to ink. That's a troubadour. I forgot what it was. We'll play Lady.
Mhm.
We'll play Nala,
Lady and Nala. All right.
and I'll pass.
Okay. Well, I will ready here and draw.
Mhm.
I'm going to ink a Giant Cobra. I'm going to pay 3 for a Genie.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really do anything about this board state right now, so we're just going to quest for 3.
Yeah.
Going to 5, and I'll pass to you.
All right. We're gonna ink this rhino. You're about to not be happy with me. We're gonna say strength on the mem.
Okay. So 3. Yep.
And fire the cannons.
Rude.
I will quest for 5.
Yep. I do get a daisy trigger.
You get a daisy trigger. All right.
All right. The genie on me.
Yep.
Draw. Okay. We are definitely clearing the Nala.
Okay.
Because that's free real estate. I'm gonna ink an Elsa and play an Elsa and rush her into Lady.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Put 2 damage on. At least if you're gonna gain 2 Lord, I might get a card out of it, and I'll pass to you.
I cleared his board. Cleared mine. We're gonna play this back and forth.
Oh, we're just top decking, baby.
Nala number 2.
All right.
Daisy, let's go to 9.
All right. It's a Jafar. That's pretty good.
Oof, I don't like that.
All right, on me.
Yep, on you.
Readying and drawing. Oh, that's a fun card. So what I might actually do here, I will go ahead and challenge the Daisy here.
I was like, if you don't,
It was the question of who got the honor at this point.
the honor is crazy.
I'm gonna play this Calhoun I just drew, and then I'm gonna ink this Jafar and play a genie and draw.
Okay.
And then since that's exerted, I'll just quest with the genie for 1. All right, it's on you.
I need to summon my inner sky and get Doc right when I need him, and that is not Doc.
That is not Doc. I will take a not Doc.
I'll pass.
Okay, well, I'm going to ready and draw. Ooh, you're really not gonna like me. Not him. Not you. We're gonna strength the Nala.
Okay.
And we're gonna strength the Aurora.
Ooh,
Quest 3.
payback.
And I'll pass to you.
It's your favorite.
Yep, there she is.
Restaurant owner.
You know what though? I have ink to pay for those challenges, so I think I'm all right.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see.
All of them are coming back to back.
Oh, that would be a little sad. Is it on?
That would look suspicious if it happened now.
It would look suspicious if it happened. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Draw in my card, and that's a fun one. All right. So, as much as I would love to capitalize on its enters play trigger, I just want to get some pressure on the board, some lore pressure. So I'll play this Jafar. We'll give the challenger to Calhoun because it's fun, and I'll just quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oof.
Going to 14, and I'll pass to you. Is it a Doc? Or is it a Tiana?
No, it is not. I'm throwing you out of the game. You're out of here. Ref
Oh, the ref is in.
the ref is here. Pete, no actions, and I'll pass.
No actions. All right, I think I can live with that for a turn. So I will draw for turn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's lethal, so I'm just going to quest out.
I was gonna wait and see how long it took him to realize he had lethal.
Hey, I've been better about sitting and counting my pips. Good game.
Good game.
I did have the Elsa 2 to...
You wanna take your four?
Yes, so we're questing to 21,
It's gonna stop you.
but it stops at 20.
Okay. So that was a really good match.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that Amber Steel still has the potential to high roll no matter what you do or how you play. And honestly, I thought once I cleared his board with the strength of the double cannons that was going to be it. But then he came back and did it to me.
I also thought it might have been over there, but when I hit that double strength, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, but no, really, really difficult but fun matchup for sure. But yeah, sorry about the penny. I know.
Don't apologize to me.
Hey, I took her to a CCS a while back, so I do have love for her.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to Bolt.
Bolt is going to be pretty sad.
I was going to say she's an orphan, but that's the wrong penny.
Yeah, that's a different penny, which we'll put her in a deck at some point.
All right, so we will be right back in a second. We are going to switch some decks around, and we'll be back. All right, guys, we've switched decks. We are back. Matt's going to pilot the Amethyst Steel, and I got a surprise for him.
You got a surprise for me.
Yeah.
Is it a good surprise?
For me?
I don't like where this is going.
All right, let's roll.
Yeah, let's roll.
6.
Okay, I can maybe beat that. I tied it with a 6.
6.
Okay. 8.
Okay, I'm gonna. These are not loaded. See, not 5s.
Okay. All right.
There's so many 5s.
Okay. I'll take it with the 8.
Yeah, already cut yours. Did you cut?
I need to cut yours.
All right.
I think. I don't know. Maybe.
Good luck.
Good luck to you too, sir. Okay. What do we got here? Yeah. Okay. I will keep.
Okay. I'm gonna do 4.
Okay.
A couple quick shuffles.
Yeah.
Keeping. You must have a really good hand.
Yeah. There's like maybe one card I could put back, but
How about you keep that one card and we'll put back everything else?
oh, and just do a hard 6.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
That would be really funny, but I'm not going to do that.
Not in this type of video.
No.
All right, on you, my friend.
All right, so I'm going to ink a bell and play Captain Hook.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
Draw. We'll ink a cheapo.
Mm-hmm.
Play a Bobby. We'll draw. We will discard a Donald Duck and I'll pass.
Okay. Ready? Draw.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gonna ink White Rose. I guess I will just play this dock, no trigger.
Okay.
And I'll quest for 1.
All right.
Pass.
We're gonna draw. We will ink a sail. We will play Tipo. We'll tuck that. And I'll pass.
Okay. Already. Draw. I'll ink this Raja. I will play a White Rose. Go to 2.
Very good.
And I'll quest for 2 more.
Okay.
I'll pass to you.
All right, we're going to ink a sail. We are going to shift Baybex. And we will take the hook out.
Okay. 1 damage back.
And pass.
Ready and draw. Gonna ink a giant cobra. Had to think a little bit because this is a card I don't typically get to play with. I'm gonna play Jafar Aspiring Ruler. I'm gonna give Challenger 2 to the White Rose, and I'm gonna trade with your Baymax.
You played this last game.
I know it's not one I play with typically.
I was like, wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
I got you.
And then I will just quest for 1 here to 5. And you know what? I'll play this Captain Hook down.
Okay.
I'll pass.
Ooh, that's a little rough. I don't think we're gonna get any value off this. We're gonna ink Clarabelle. We'll play Donald. We'll ramp 1, and I will pass. All right. So
Already here. Draw. All right. I will. The Donald's a little scary. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to quest for 2 with the Jafar. Any value I can get out of what's in my hand.
Sometimes it'll be like that.
You are at how much ink?
6.
Or 1 off from Hades. All right, well, we'll play this.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
We'll draw. I actually don't really want to ink that. So instead, we're going to make your a waste to make Dumbo reckless. You get out of that.
Mm-hmm. I sure can.
We're gonna make your hook reckless.
Okay.
I'll quest for 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll pass.
All right. Already here. Hook is reckless. I'm just gonna kind of push him forward at that. I'm gonna draw for turn. Okay, so he does have to swing. So we'll go ahead and swing it on the Donald. Put 3 on. And I'll just clear him with the dock.
Okay.
We'll activate Dumbo first before we do anything else. So gain a lore, draw a card. Ooh. Okay.
He's in the tank, ladies and gentlemen.
An opportunity has presented itself.
I'm not seeing it.
Not immediately on the board, but just in like lines for the next turn.
What do we got for today?
I'm gonna ink this bell.
Okay.
I'm gonna play a dock, discard this Cobra, draw 2. Okay. Nothing I can do immediately. I will just quest for 2 more.
Okay.
And I will pass.
So I'm gonna ink this Bobby Zimmerowski. We are going to Hades the Dumbo.
Yep, I knew that was coming eventually.
We're gonna quest for 2.
Okay. What's reckless?
Your Jafar's reckless.
Jafar? That makes sense.
And we'll take one more Bobby. I'll
Okay.
pass.
All right, so ready. I'll draw. That is not terrible. I'm going to play Madam Mim. And I'm going to play White Rose. Gain a lore.
All right.
So this Jafar has to challenge. So he will challenge the John Silver for 4. And we will clear with Doc.
Okay.
Because I don't want that to be a thing I'm dealing with for multiple turns. And then I'll just pass there.
All right. We'll draw. We're going to pay 7, and we're going to return the Madam Mim to your hand.
Okay.
Because we don't want you to get that White Rose Lorcana again.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll plus for 3. 3.
Yep.
And I'll pass.
All right. So I will ready here and draw. Play the Mim. Play an Yzma.
Okay.
Have an inked for turn. I'm going to ink because I'm just going to lose it to Basil. You go up by 5 to my 12. I'm going to take the Bobby.
Okay. 1 back.
Okay. That's it. Yes, 1 back. Sorry. And then your turn. Yeah, this is really getting me in the tank here.
Yeah,
We've seen like Hades, Basil, John Silver, all the stuff you want to see from Blue Green. Well, Blue Green wants to see.
Shimmerald.
Shimmerald, is that what we're calling it?
I like calling it Shimmerald.
Shimmerald. What's the other thing? Bleen, is that what JDZ's been calling it?
Glue is what some people are calling it.
Blue? Oh, I don't like that one.
We're gonna take that card. Yeah, we'll put those on the bottom. And we'll do that. We will play a 1-drop Clairvoyant.
Okay. Would you like to pay 2 to blow up an item?
Sure.
I don't have an item for you. I'm sorry.
This deck box.
Okay.
No, it doesn't work like
This one? Well, this one's empty. I can just.
No. Do have a card in hand.
I'm assuming it's not it's the one you visioned for. I'm assuming Clairvel's not what you visioned for. So.
Go for 4.
Yeah.
And I'll pass.
All right. I will ready here and draw. I'll play a Calhoun. We will go ahead and trade and take the Basil out.
Yeah.
With the White Rose.
Seems pretty good.
I'll activate Yzma and draw 3.
Ooh, cards in hand.
Yeah. I'm gonna pay 5 for an Elsa. I'll exert the Clarabelle and rush and take her out.
She didn't even do anything.
She could shift, and I don't want that.
She's just a clumsy guest.
And then I guess after that, I'll pass the turn.
All right. You didn't want to quest with your Mim?
No, because that's a free trade for you. The thought is if you hit the Yzma, the Calhoun can smack back.
That is thought.
Okay. That's a good card.
Reckless.
Cool.
But I'm not going to hit the Yzma.
Oh, you're going to go to
I'm
14.
just going to quest.
Okay.
Go ahead.
On me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ready here and draw. Okay. I'm going to pay 4 for a genie and draw a card.
Sure.
We are going to sing Strength for 5 on John
That's
Silver.
pretty good.
We are going to, so let's see, she'd hit for 1. She'd hit, well, then she would only hit for 3. I'm going to make a bold move here. I'm going to challenge with the Yzma, put 3 on the Hades, or 4 on the Hades, and then clear with Calhoun and gain 2 lore.
Okay.
I will then not quest with the Mim because it has Reckless. And I will pass. No, I will not. Sorry. I will play a Dock Declining Trigger.
Okay. You must really like that one card.
And I'll pass.
Okay. We're going to pay... we're going to ink Roden. We're going to hard cast Under the Sea.
I should have probably held it. Oh, well. How would you like this ordered, sir?
You're not getting to it. Just put them on the bottom.
Okay.
We're not getting there.
Probably not. One way or the other. I don't want to get to those. All right.
Once you traded in that Yzma and that Calhoun, I was like, ooh, this is buddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But now we're both kind of stopped and in top deck mode. I'll draw for turn. The fun thing is I held a genie. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to play a Calhoun, and I get to play a Palace card.
That's pretty good.
I'll pass the turn.
We're going to play Clarabelle. Go ahead.
Okay. I have 0 in hand, unfortunately for you.
For now.
I'll draw.
You purple players like to draw cards.
Dumbo. I'll quest for 3. Yeah, we'll just quest here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
17. I'll pass.
Basil?
Are we bouncing?
Let's bounce. Genie.
Okay.
We're going to take out Calhoun.
Okay. 3 back.
And I'll pass.
All right. Hey, draw. Pay 4 for the genie. Draw a card.
Sure.
Ink a Captain Hook. 3 for the other genie. And then I'll use this last ink to activate Dumbo. Go to 18 and draw. And then I'll quest to 19. And I'll pass the turn.
Okay. I'll draw. That's funny. Basil.
Okay, the genie.
We'll quest to make you discard a card.
All right, I will discard. I'll discard Dumbo.
You thought way too long about that.
I did.
Do you know why you thought way too long about it? Because I can't clear your board.
Right.
Because I have no cards in hand.
That's fair.
I'll pass.
Okay. Just going through the motions, and we'll just quest.
Perfect. Good game, brother.
Good game, dude. Woo! Whew, man, we were able to dig out of that. That was really, really surprising.
Really back and forth.
But yeah. So yeah, Purple Steel is it's got, I feel like it's got about like, it feels like the deck that has like a 50-50 in almost everything.
Yeah, it's a very fair deck. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute, where we'll see you. We're gonna we'll see you at the other table. So we'll be back. All right, we're back here. We're gonna get ready to say goodbye to you guys. But the game was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think like me and Kim talked about, the deck is very fair. It's got game into everything. But you can sometimes, decks high roll. And that's the meta we're in, and you've got to try to find those gaps where you can sequence correctly and kind of take over that board and get that win going.
Yeah, I definitely say with Amethyst Steel, finding that balance between, am I the aggressor? Am I the person controlling the board right now? Something that's really difficult to do. I play Amethyst Steel a lot locally, and I still struggle with that. But the biggest piece of advice is don't ever give up. If you're playing Amethyst Steel, there are always ways to dig yourself out. So, just play to your outs.
I think that's great advice for Lorcana in general. Whatever deck you're playing, just play to your outs. You know what's in your deck. Your opponent can always draw bad cards, bad variants.
Yep.
So don't give up, don't get frustrated. And if you do make mistakes, just learn from them, like we always say, because that's how we get better as players. If we can take those moments and, emotion happens when we lose, especially like some sort of high stakes match that champs, whatever the case is. But if we can step back, we can look at it and be like, oh, well, I should have sequenced this differently. Maybe I should have drawn cards first. Maybe I should have challenged here instead of here. And then when we run into those situations again, we won't make that same mistake.
Right.
Hopefully. That's the goal. But anyway, I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Thank you so much, Enchanted Kim, for coming on the channel and sharing the deck with us again. And remember, here at Additional Ink, we believe there's plenty of space at the table for everybody.
And plenty of ink to go around.
That's right, Maddie. And if you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. And that way you can always be informed when it's time for your next drop of Additional Ink. And we'll see you then.
Take care, everyone.